You're enjoying the evolution of your desire. You feel the exhilaration of a new idea born within you. Even before it manifests, you adore that fresh life-giving desire. Yes, yes, yes. When you enthusiastically answer yes to that question, you will be understanding deliberate creating. Because you will always be in a place where new desire is born. Eternally. That's the way this universe is. You will never stand in a place of completion ever. And when you really understand that, when you stop and say, I know I am eternally incomplete, it takes the edge off the discomfort of something wanted, not yet manifested. And if you are wise, it puts you in the place where you are softly and yet eagerly anticipating that which is to come without being uncomfortable about that which has not come. As you stand in this place where you are feeling discomfort because there is a desire within you that you cannot figure out how to make happen, that discomfort is what keeps it from happening. It's a discord, a vibrational discord that will not allow the source energy that is natural to you to flow. You are extensions of source energy. You are leading edge creators here in these physical bodies. And the reason that we call it leading edge is because this environment, this leading edge environment, is the fantastic variety or contrast that helps you, the focuser of energy, identify desire. And so as you identify a new desire, it shoots out of you. Every preference, even at a cellular level, is noted as desire. And when that preference is born, and it is constantly, source energy hears it vibrationally, responds to it instantly. Your answers are given immediately every single time. When you say, ask and it is given, you could not be more accurate. So why is it that the things that some are asking for seem to not be being received? It may be because you are not receiving them. You may not be in the receiving mode. You may not be letting them in. And the way you would know if you are in the receiving mode or not is if your desire is life-giving to you, if you feel enthusiasm or passion or anticipation or eagerness over the desire that is new within you, then you are in the place of allowing yourself to be the receiver of what you are asking for. But if you are feeling discomfort, if you are feeling unhappy, if you feel guilty or blameful, if you feel weary or tired, if you have desires and you are so aware of where you stand rather than being eager about where you are becoming, then you may very well be in vibrational discord to your own desire. It is only your own vibrational discord to your own desire that ever keeps anything that you desire from coming to you. Some of you remember seeing the two horses pulling the plow or pulling the wagon, hooked together with a collar. And when they pull together, there is ease in the experience. But when one is pulling and one is not, or they are seeming to want to go in opposite directions, it is a jerky and uncomfortable experience for everyone involved. And what we are wanting to help you to realize is that you are both of those horses within you. In other words, when your desire is moving in one direction, but your belief or expectation is moving in another, you are having an uncomfortable experience. So as we call this gathering the art of allowing, what it is really about is helping you to discover how to allow your own desires, how to allow yourself to be in any moment the pure positive extension of source energy that you really are. And you can tell by the way you feel how you are doing in that. When you are in alignment, you feel wonderful. That's what ease feels like. That's what exhilaration feels like. That's what passion is, or clarity, or vitality, or enthusiasm. That's what that feeling of well-being is. When you feel guilt, or anger, or frustration, or loneliness, or defeat, or fear, or any of those negative emotions, what it always means is, in this moment, you are giving your attention to something not in alignment with what you are wanting. So, here you are in your physical experience, and what you give your attention to certainly affects your vibration, because as you give your attention to anything, you offer a vibration that matches it. But we notice that your vibration is not only about what you are observing in your now, that sometimes you are carrying over sort of habitual vibrations from before. You call those beliefs. We call it a continuing vibration. And some of those vibrations serve you very well. In other words, some of your expectations serve you. Most of them do, in fact. But there are some vibrations, some expectations, some ways of looking at life that you are holding that are not serving you. And you can tell which ones they are because when you are focused there, you feel negative emotion. As you have experiences, even at early ages, you learn patterns of thinking, patterns of approaching things. You literally pick up the way you respond to things from those around you, from what you hear, from teachers, from friends, certainly from your parents, from each other. And some of those patterns of thought, as you chug along with them now, cause you to be a vibrational match to what you want. But some of them do not. So what we are suggesting is that it would be extremely valuable to you if you were to begin to practice some exercises where you could choose what you want to be active within you, where you activate vibrations within you and practice them on a regular enough basis that you get this sort of momentum, vibrational momentum going so that it is less likely that you will stumble upon those old thoughts. When you go home, for example, and you see the familiar places and you hear the familiar words and you hear the familiar voices, it is a very normal thing for things that may not have been active within you for some time to become activated again. And we want you to not be fearful about anything that's activated within you because you certainly have the ability at any time to give your attention anywhere you want. We suggest a process that we are calling virtual reality. You may have used something similar to it under the name of creative visualization or using your imagination, for certainly it is all of that. But the game or process of virtual reality goes like this. You choose a place, some place that you feel are very good odds of you feeling good when you go there in your mind. So you pick a place, you pick a time of year, you pick a time of day, you begin to observe what's around, whether it is flowers or mountain streams or wildlife. You decide how you feel, or you observe from your feeling place inside your vision how it feels to be there. And articulate it if you can, or at least ponder it. You don't have to bring anyone else into your virtual reality, and sometimes it's better not to, but you get to decide. So bring someone with you, give them a good mood, acknowledge your good mood, speak a few brief words, and then leave your virtual reality. The process works best if it's about 30 seconds long. In other words, get in, feel good, get out. After a series of these virtual realities over a period of few days, what will begin to happen is you will begin, oh, it is so good. You will be the one who sets the tone within you. In other words, rather than letting something that happened when you were a child still be the reason for the dominant vibration within you, rather than letting the financial hardship of your parents still be the vibrational basis on which you are disallowing abundance into your experience, rather than allowing some abusive relationship of the past of setting the tone for what you let in or don't let in your experience, you decide here and now, you say, I'm going to set the tone of my own vibration. I am a vibrational transmitter and receiver. I am an extension of source energy. I am on the leading edge of thought. This variety is giving me all kinds of clarity about what I want. It is time for me to choose how I offer my vibration, because you can choose a thought that puts you in the place of allowing what you are wanting, or you can choose a thought that does not put you in the place of allowing what you are wanting. But the most important thing that we want you to hear is you are choosing the thought. Many of you are not deliberately choosing thought. In other words, you'll say, there is some factual thing in my life. Something is happening with my mother and I cannot help but notice it. Or something is happening with my finances and I cannot help but notice it. I have to face reality. And we say, sometimes you do, but not all the time. And if you will give yourself a vacation from the reality that you are facing, then you will give yourself a vacation from the vibration that is holding you in the place of not letting in what you want. But you're not going to give yourself a vacation from these without deliberately deciding that you're going to begin to choose some thoughts that set your own vibrational tone. Virtual reality is the place where you choose how you want to feel. And the thing that's nice about it is there's not something else in your virtual reality that's calling you someplace else. In other words, it's like meditation in the sense that it's this fresh, neutral place. And as you get the hang of it and begin to play with it a little bit, you will become addicted to virtual reality. You will find yourself so easily able to choose a vibration and make it your dominant vibration. Do you understand what this game of virtual reality will do? It will cause you to be in the place of allowing. And when you are in the place of allowing, those things that you have been wanting flow easily into your experience. It's always been that way for you. Every one of you have been living every one of these successes over and over again. We're just wanting to point it out in very obvious fashion for you so that you will understand once and for all that you have creative control of your own experience. We want you to reach this place where never again do you blame someone else or some other time or some outside circumstance for what is not happening in your experience the way you want it to happen. We tease with our friends as they are complaining about this and that and the other, and we say to them, somebody should do something about that. And they laugh because they know that we always mean, and the only one who can do anything about it is you, because you are the only one who can adjust your vibration. The other day, Jerry and Esther were in Texas, and they had been gone for several weeks, and they were home for 1 week. And like always, when they are in Texas, they have more to do than they can do. And Esther hit the floor running every morning. She had a long, long list. She was determined to get all of these things done before she left town. And about midway through the week, she was pretty ornery. And she knew it. But she said to Jerry, I don't have time to delegate. And I don't have time to line up my energy. I don't have time to do any of the things I know I'm supposed to do. I've just got to make this week happen. And then a friend who had worked with them before stopped by. Someone Esther adores. Someone who adores Esther. And as this sweet young woman visited with Esther for 5 or 10 minutes, Esther felt Esther come back. She felt her joy return. She felt her clarity return. She felt her well-being return. And when the friend left, Esther said to Jerry, that felt so good. She said, more people should do that for me. And of course, it is nice when there's someone that you feel that way about and that feels that way about you. It is nice when someone who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on, comes into your experience and holds you as their object of attention and breathes fresh, loving well-being back into you. We know it's nice when that happens. But so many of you like that feeling of being adored that you become dependent upon it coming from the outside. And so you expect others to always do that for you, and more are not going to do it for you than are going to do it for you. And it's time for you to become independent of that. In other words, it is true you are uplifters, and it is delicious when you do that for someone or when they do it for you. But when we say someone should do something about that, we're talking about you. And this game of virtual reality is the best tool that we've ever seen utilized by you that will cause you to teach you that you can choose your vibration. Esther, in the first days of playing with it, got all worked up one day and she said, I can damn well choose what will be my dominant vibration. It's time for me to choose what is my dominant vibration. I'm not going to let it be something that's happening someplace else. I'm not going to let it be something that's happening in my neighborhood or in my community or in the Middle East. I'm not going to let others in whatever mess they've gotten themselves in, even if it is someone I adore like my parents, I'm not going to let that set my tone. Now, Esther was not exactly tuned in, tapped in, turned on as she was speaking in that way, but she was very much in stage 1 of making the decision. The rocket of desire was bubbling within her. And when the rocket shot out, she said, I can choose how I feel. I can choose what I think about. And then she set out to do it. She has the good fortune of driving 400 or 500 miles nearly every day. And while they are driving, it is a very nice time. Esther gets behind the wheel of the big monster bus. Jerry goes in the back and puts his headphones on and works on whatever he's working on, and Esther does virtual reality. So as we're moving forward here today, we'll play the game of virtual reality, and you will feel the sweet relief of finding a thought off the subject of your concern, putting you in the place of allowing, and as you practice it again and again and again, what you will begin to notice is that within about 30 days, less in some cases, you will be in charge of how you vibrate. And when you are, you'll be in the place of allowing more often than not. And when you are, those things that you've been asking for that have seemed stubbornly stuck will break loose.